Today I'm sharing 26 things that you can declutter before the end of 2026 and do it as soon as possible because we are headed into a brand new era and you don't want to have anything standing between you and everything you want. So let's dive right in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Claudat. I'm a modern Feng Shui master and I've helped tens of thousands of people to design homes that make dreams come true over the last 20 years. And the very first step in all this transformation is decluttering, letting go of everything standing between you and everything you want. When we started the year, I made this video talking about how we're stepping into a historic era. This is a year for the history books, the astrology, the numerology, pretty much every energetic shift you could ever imagine points toward a brand new life. And to have a brand new life, you want to get rid of all the old stuff that's weighing you down, starting with the things that stress out your nervous system. Let's start with the burned out light bulbs. Go through your house and see if you have any burned out light bulbs and replace them immediately with brand new bulbs. You also want to scan every room and see if you have any annoyances in your space. This is the most annoying thing I have. It's this little jar of pens on my desk. I had to get rid of it because I could not stand to see it anymore. Look around room by room and see if you have anything that's really annoying that you've been trying to block out and not pay attention to, and decide you're going to finally get rid of it. If you have a ton of Post-its everywhere or to-do lists in your office space or maybe in some space in your home, that is clutter in and of itself. It is so overwhelming. If you have so many things to do that you have to have lists everywhere, chances are it's time to get really organized and maybe dedicate a day to getting rid of all sorts of busy work so that you can focus on what matters most. Another common thing that can happen is that you have loud, colorful art or decor that's supposed to be artful, that's supposed to bring a pop of color, that's popping too much. It's too bright, too loud, too colorful in a room that needs to be calm. And it is also acting like a subtle annoyance or an aggravation. That's how I feel about this blanket on my sofa. And that's also how I felt about this over my bed. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about color. I'm not saying to strip your house of color, but notice where you need to be more calm, where you need to be more focused. Is this pop of bright color or really wild art or whatever it might be pulling your attention in a way that's distracting or just not quite right for the room? Move it somewhere else or swap it out, donate it, gift it, and let your space be calm. One way that your space can be more calm is if your life is more calm and you're not overloaded with rituals. So one thing that you can declutter from your life are too many steps in too many rituals. This might be a 10-step skincare routine, or in my case, I have a 10-step hair care routine, which is totally unnecessary. And if it means that you need to take 10 steps or 5 steps to get the best results in whatever it is you're doing, then go for it. But chances are you can streamline a lot, make your life a lot easier, and get way better results. Because this is a time for you to shine, wearing some accessories can be such a big uplifting part of your style. But oftentimes I find that accessories get tossed in bins, get tossed in trays, and they get so overwhelming that you stop using them. If you can sort through all your accessories, get everything organized, and let go of the things you're truly not going to use, you're going to find that you reach for these accessories so much more. The next category of items to declutter are the money blockers. And especially in the second half of 2026, money and abundance is in the spotlight. If you want to prosper more than ever before, you want to get your money in order. And one of the ways you can start to do that is to shred up all the old paperwork that reminds you of old money cycles. So it could be old bills, old financial statements. You don't need to know your bank balance from 2002. You may need to keep certain receipts and documents for tax purposes for a certain number of years, depending on where you live. But chances are you can get rid of so much stuff you do not need. Shred it up and you'll feel fantastic. Another thing that you can look at, if you've ever taken a money class, anything to do with abundance, whether it's a spiritual class or an investment class, if it was a great class, see if you can log in and redo it. And if it was a class that did not serve you and you have notes, let it all go. Another thing that can be so excellent is to cut up old credit cards, old rewards cards, old gift cards that you've already used. All of this stuff is money of the past. And we're looking toward a very bright future. So chop it all up safely. Finally, to free up the maximum amount of energy for you to prosper, if you've got commitments on your calendar that are weighing you down, things that you dread doing, it's time to start saying no. Because all of those commitments drain your energy. And when you're drained, you're not in a place to be the most magnetic to abundance. The next category of stuff has to do with you being the most productive you have ever been, because productivity is such a big part of the second half of the year. It's time to innovate. It's time to be super creative. And you're not going to be your most creative if you're sitting in the midst of a lot of old stuff. If you've got books that you have half read and put them away, or you can't quite get through them, maybe you're just not into them, and maybe it's time to finally gift them and let them go. That leads me right into the big one, which is unfinished projects. Unfinished projects weigh heavily on your psyche. When you see unfinished projects, whether it's an unfinished creative project you have, or an unfinished home project, or an unfinished work project, all of these things weigh you down. So go through all those unfinished projects and make some decisions. You're allowed to put something off for later. It's not that if you don't want to do it right this minute, you're never going to do it in your whole life, but be very decisive about what it is that you are either going to finish or not finish. Emails are an enormous form of digital clutter that can really weigh heavily on your whole life. Instead of just deleting your emails, and I would love you to delete your emails that you do not need, also start unsubscribing. Unsubscribe, unsubscribe, unsubscribe. You've heard it before, I've heard it before, but I still need to do it, and maybe you do as well. The next form of digital clutter is notifications. The endless notifications that can ping and just take you right out of your zone of genius. In order to enter your zone of genius throughout the day, you need to have uninterrupted time to focus. This is science. And so if you have notifications going off all day long, you are actually holding yourself back from tapping into your genius zone. So shut off all of those notifications. The other thing that you can delete digitally are big, giant documents that you do not need on your computer. You probably don't need to keep it all. If you're keeping a planner from an amazing year where brilliant things happened and you had a breakthrough, that's fine. But chances are you don't need every planner from every single year of your life. So if you're ready, get rid of all of these old cycles so that you can free yourself up again to move forward. What I like to do is shred up the inside of my planners and do my best to recycle the outside of the planner depending on what it's made out of. The last bit of productivity freedom that you can create for yourself is to get rid of productivity habit trackers and productivity journals that you don't use. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing these books, and I bought so many of them, telling myself each and every time, I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it, this time I'm going to use it, and I never used it. Now we're going to get into the final category of items that you can get rid of to make a big fresh start in this numerological universal year number 1. A lot of people have told me they feel stressed out because they think that 2026 is the only time that they can make a breakthrough because the astrology is so special. But this is the year number 1. It's just the beginning. It's the beginning of a whole 9-year cycle of abundance. So you have plenty of time to get things done. Focus on making the freshest of fresh starts. If you have extra gardening supplies in your house, like plant pots or potting soil, it's time to use it all. And if you're not going to use it, start gifting it to other people. It might be a great time to plant some new seeds, get some new plants growing in your house. I made this video all about Feng Shui money plants. I'm going to link it here so that if you want to pick some symbolic plants to grow your wealth and abundance, you'll have a lot of fun with that one. In Feng Shui, money flows when energy flows freely through your house. And one of the ways energy can get blocked is if you have ugly art in your hallways. or too much stuff in your hallways. Hallways can sometimes be a catch-all for different things. You don't know where to put it. You put it up in the hallway, and next thing you know, the hallways are super cluttered. If you happen to have an old doormat, deep clean it, completely refurbish it, bring it back to brand new, or consider getting a brand new doormat. It's going to welcome you into your home every time you come home. It's going to welcome guests into your home, and it's going to welcome new money and abundance into your home. If you have boxes in storage from old chapters of your life that you never revisit, maybe you even have them in a storage unit, now's a good time to say, maybe I should open up these boxes and see what's in there and consider letting some of this stuff go. If you haven't touched it for years and years and years, you may be surprised to find some things that you do want to display in your house or you do want to use. If you have maybe clothes, maybe you want to start wearing them. If you give this stuff a fresh look, you'll also decide that it's time to finally get rid of some of this stuff. If you have clutter from past broken relationships, just let it go. You're actually letting go of the energetic ties to that person. So if you have an object that reminds you of someone who broke your heart in a horrible way and you still keep it in your house, you're holding on to the energy of that person. Do you want that person's energy in your home or life? No. If you've got a lot of old vision boards or old manifesting stuff, that can all go as well, or you can refresh it. Oftentimes, if you find an old vision board, you can add some new photos to it if it feels like it's still relevant. Same thing for old lists. Maybe you sleep with a list of things you want to manifest under your pillow, or you've got old lists of goals hiding out in your house. You don't need to hold on to all of those things. In fact, you might not want a lot of those things anymore. So end the cycle by shredding them up, throwing them away, recycling them, and then moving forward. Once you get rid of that old stuff, it's really great to sit down and write some new goals or make a new vision board so that you're really rooted in this new era. Now, on a similar note, you may have old energy cleansing stuff in your house, old incense, old aromatherapy stuff that's kind of dried out. Maybe you've got potpourri that no longer has fragrance. It's time to either refresh it or let it go. And last but absolutely not least on this list is letting go of all of the items that remind you of times that you feel that you failed. If you've got any of these failure items in your home and you see them or feel that energy around you, it can keep you trapped in the past. If you have any of these documents, emails, it could even be objects that remind you, an outfit that reminds you of a time where you feel like you just failed to achieve a thing that you wanted or you got really disappointed. Take the lesson and then throw that stuff away, because you cannot move forward if you're looking backward. Try it. Stand up, look backward, and try walking forward and tell me how it goes. It doesn't work well. You will not get to where you want to go in a confident way. So let all this stuff go and anything else you find along the way. If you have questions, comments, anything you need, please leave them below. And if you like this video, please do not forget to like it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed. There is a whole series of decluttering coming soon, and Beyond Decluttering, the Feng Shui decluttering program, which is unlike anything else in the world, is coming back this season. Not only will you learn to declutter like a pro in the most revolutionary ways, you will also do this for yourself, getting rid of tons of your own clutter. The breakthroughs in this program have been so enormous, and I can't wait for you to experience it. All the details are in the comment section to learn more and join us. This whole channel is full of videos for you to explore. In the meantime, have so much fun, and I'll be back soon with more.